Bang went the door of my living tomb, a 4x8 cell without a living room. The punishment set out that spelled out my doom, and in my darkest night I wanted to crawl back into my mother's womb. A group of minds breaking in the dead of night, the screaming, yelling, and cursing of those forever out of sight, frozen in the bare bulb of a neon light. With only my inner demons I was left to fight. And who will ever know if this punishment was wrong or right, because the plight of everyone here was conveniently out of sight. Food shoved through a slot with no words ever spoken, just the faint smell of nicotine that told you the guard had been smoking. No way to sleep in the madness, no way to be woken, just one more lost mind left behind to be broken. No need to know the time in a sentence of endless time, even told that this is a punishment for the gravity of your crime. You'll never again hear the ticking of a clock or the morning chime. You'll never need any money, not a nickel or a dime. Those that knew you will forget you after you've been here for years and years. Eventually the endlessness of your thoughts will conjure up your worst fears. The ghosts from some lost nightmare start appearing in your cell, and suddenly you feel the floor is open and dropped you into the bowels of hell. Your mind becomes fractured, your sanity just fell, but there's no one to talk to and no one you can tell. Society's locked you up and they say your soul is what you chose to sell. And if you wish this was true, because you'd be better off if you were just an empty shell. But things are not just so simple, and no one knows what brought you down. No one knows the path that took your life or the place where you were found. No one knows the secrets buried in the cell beneath the ground, or how many times you called for help but you never heard a sound, because they got you locked away in a state of solitary confinement, your sanity a second-hand commodity that has been put on consignment. They were unwilling to admit they've gone too far, but they don't know what crossing the line meant. And that meant that their idea of justice is no justice at all, and therefore needs some refinement. But no one knows the hell you live in with not a single silent night, or how many times you punch the walls trying to kill the demons that you fight, how much toilet paper you shoved in your ears, how many things you wrapped around your head, how many times you tried to bite the veins out of your arms but they only ever bled, the endless smell of excrement that those in your area have smeared over their walls, how many men have jumped head first from their bunks in a hope of a deadly fall, in a place without any hope, in a basement hell long forgotten, the guards just as much a desperate prisoner in the shitty job that they have gotten, the threads of sanity so thin that almost anything can happen, because it's not an area of great concern or terrain that we've been mapping, unless of course it's a course in how to torture tortured minds. But no one's asking any questions, and no one's documenting any finds, no one's seeking any answers. There's no point where the cell doors will ever open. These prisoners have so little left that there's little left for them for coping. Just a very fragile state of mind, wishing for a place to rest, but even holding on to a single thought is not what they could do at best. The punishment forever punishing it so far exceeds the sentence, the torture forever torturing until daily life becomes far too intense, where a death sentence would have been a mercy, but we were bent on causing pain. So we sentenced a bunch of human beings to what could only cause them to go insane.
Woo!